Welcome back for part 3 of the utility shed roof truss framing tutorial. What we're going to focus on next on this part, we're going to trim our overhang. We're going to make a copy of this and swing it over here, and then we're going to extrude it the 2-inch thickness of a 2x4, and we'll make a bunch of copies to cover the whole part of our shed. So I'm going to pan over to this corner right here and kind of zoom in, and I'm going to rotate so that my wall is kind of facing me, and I can measure a foot of distance off here to cut off the rest of this part of the roof. So I'm going to grab my measuring tool, my measuring tape, and you can click anywhere along here you want. You want to click and drag out 1 foot, and you're going to get that dimension line right there. And so then with your pencil tool, you know that this spot right here is going to be the 1 foot distance from your shed wall, and then you can delete the rest of this overhang. That's going to be too far for our specifications. So I deleted that space. I'm deleting these lines right now, and then you can actually delete this dimension line. You're not going to need that anymore. So this overhang is now going to be meet specifications and be 1 foot from the edge of the shed. Okay, now we need to make a copy of this half of the shed, move it over to the left, and then we're going to flip it. So I'm going to use my white cursor tool, and I'm going to double click this whole piece so that it's got the blue light outline and the blue dots in the center. And then I'm going to use my move tool, and I can select just like the midpoint of this might be a good spot to grab. Hold down your control key and then click and drag a copy of this over to the left hand side. And it doesn't matter where you put it because we're going to eventually connect it back. So you can put it out here in outer space if you'd like, and just click to place that part of the truss right there. Then while it's still selected blue, you can grab the move tool, and I believe this bottom option is called the scale tool, and you get these 3 dots and the yellow line around it. We're going to click on the right hand edge of that rectangle and just drag it over to the other side, and you're going to want it to snap to its original distance. You don't want it to be bigger or smaller. You want it to be the same size as the other one. And so then when you go back to your move tool, you should be able to click on this green end point and slap it right next to this green end point right there. And you should have a truss that is mirroring the one that we had already drawn. Okay. So now with my white cursor tool, I can select any part of the green space, and then with my eraser tool, I can come in here and delete this center line, and that's going to make this one big piece together. And then we can come around to the opposite side, where we're going to extrude this truss frame that we made. We're not going to go the full 4 inches that this top plate is. We're going to go 2 inches of the 2x4. So with your white cursor tool, please make sure that you've selected this truss so that it's blue. And then with your push-pull tool, you're going to be able to click and pull this out a distance of 2 inches. And there is your truss. Okay. And we're going to put several copies of this along the top of the roof, and we're going to space them out 24 inches apart. So the way that I learned how to do that was just using the move tool. The guy in the other tutorial video had some fancy way of making many copies all at once, and I forgot how he did that, so I need to retry that myself. If you know how to do that, more power to you. I want to encourage you to use designing methods that are going to save you time, and I'm gonna have to learn that myself. Maybe you can teach me when we get there. But we're going to use our white cursor tool to select this truss. We want to triple click it, okay, so that all 3 dimensions of the piece are highlighted. We're going to right click and we're going to make it a component. We're going to call it roof truss. Hit OK. And now we can use the move tool to make copies of it and slide it along the top of our shed. So I'm going to select this endpoint and hold down my control key and click, and I'll move this a distance of 24 inches. And then we can continue on doing that right along down the line here. We can hit control on that edge, click, drag another copy with the green dotted line, hit 24 inches, hit enter, and just keep on doing that till the cows come home, and you'll have yourself a roof truss on the top of your shed for class tomorrow. Good luck.